Greetings all, FerrariMan601 here. Today we have a review of definitely the most realistic Assetto Corsa mod that I have seen yet. This, the 2013 Toyota Tacoma pickup truck, brought to you by Toyota USA. Do check them out, toyotausa.com. You can find this and plenty more mods out there for your playing pleasure, and they are all 100% freeware. Absolutely great. Now, a pickup truck may not seem to be the fodder, if you will, for a modding community. However, the attention to detail on this thing is truly world-class, I dare say second to none in terms of anything that we have seen before for Assetto Corsa or sim racing in general. Just have a look at this thing. Zooming in here to the wheel arch area. Just incredible amount of detail that these guys have put into this car, or perhaps I should say truck. I mean, just have a look at that. It's almost like you could reach out and touch this wheel. That is the level of sharpness that you've got in this thing. You can see the shroud there on the brake drum. Perhaps it's not lit so well from this side, but absolutely incredible. Also, a new feature in this version of Assetto Corsa, have a look at what we're seeing here in the showroom view. I mean, look at this attention to detail. Absolutely great. I mean, the pine needles here on this tree, they have all been individually modeled. I have not seen that before in any computer simulation. This is just absolutely incredible graphics. It is truly as if I were actually standing outside right now in an incredibly convincing likeness of my neighborhood. Absolutely incredible. Anyway, back to this truck here. Now, as I was saying, this truck perhaps is not the subject matter that most modders would be interested in. However, just have a look. The detail. The pinstriping that was added as an aftermarket for no reason whatsoever. There it is. Look at that. Absolutely great. I mean, I could even peel it off there with this incredible level of interactivity we have in showroom view. Absolutely great stuff. In terms of the specs on this thing, this is the base of base model Tacomas. It's powered by a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder engine mated to a 5-speed manual gearbox. Unlike many trucks like it, this one is not 4-wheel drive. It is strictly 4x2 all the time. That means you're not going to be pulling too many big trailers or going off-roading in this thing. However, what it does mean is that you're going to be getting pretty good gas mileage for a truck. I mean, it weighs about 3,700 pounds, so it's not exactly lightweight, but for its size, you're going to get pretty decent gas mileage. However, the features that we have in showroom view are pretty astonishing. Now, we're used to seeing in showroom view, we have some features like the doors will open, or you can go into the cockpit, that sort of thing. But have a look at this. Yes, this is the fuel door, but it pops open, and not only does it pop open, but you can see here they have even gone to the lengths to include the lettering on the fuel cap, up to E10 gasoline only. That's absolutely fastidious attention to detail from Toyota USA. Absolutely incredible. Speaking of incredible details, we can jump into the cab here, and the detail does not fail even inside. I mean, first of all, as you might notice, and we'll close the door here just to give you a little bit better sense of the sight lines, but just have a look. There's your gauge cluster. That is 100% true to life, I can tell you for sure. And then you've got your instrument panel here with all of your climate controls and whatever. There's your 5-speed plus reverse shifter. And then, look at this. Because Toyota USA can't figure out how to build a manual gearbox, they have even included what looks to be a handwritten gear shift table for second gear, because the synchros on these Toyota gearboxes are absolutely dreadful, and you've got a double clutch and rev match all of your upshifts, particularly into second gear on these trucks. I've had one of these for a little while, so I definitely understand that characteristic, and I can't believe that they have gone to the lengths to include something like that in here. Absolutely wonderful attention to detail. In addition to checking out the interior here in showroom view, what we can also do is fly back outside of the cab, and we can even check out the engine bay up front. Now here is where the attention to detail is truly absolutely spellbinding. I mean, First of all, they've bothered to model the hood prop, as you can see here, but beyond that, you can definitely tell that the template for this mod was a Tacoma that has had about 50,000 miles put on it so far. You can see that there's plenty of dirt here in the engine bay. You can see the fan cover for the radiator. Yep, there's plenty of road grime on that. And then, of course, you've got that 2.7 liter straight 4 engine with variable valve timing, that VVT-I Toyota proprietary valve timing system. And have a look at this. This is really blowing me away. You can see the oil filler cap there, 0W20. They've bothered to include the oil specification for the engine in this mod. Absolutely incredible. See this battery here? Battery probably performs okay, but it has seen better days in terms of its cleanliness. But unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable work by these guys. If you don't have this mod already, just based off of the looks alone, you absolutely have to consider getting it. I mean, what other mod shows you the oil specification for the engine in showroom view? I certainly don't know. I can't name one. If you know one, just tell me in the comments, because unbelievable job. Do get it, toyotausa.com. However, all of the details that we have here are absolutely great by themselves, but what remains to do is to drive this beast, which we shall do next. Alright, so welcome to the cockpit of the Tacoma, and of course we have to take this thing around and see how it drives. I do have to say, having done a couple of installation laps in it, the physics are second to none. Again, this is better than any AC mod or any stock Kunos content I have ever seen. This thing is 100% true to life in every regard. Now, that does not mean that it's a particularly pleasant driving experience, only because it's a truck and it weighs about 3,700 pounds. So it's heavy and it's slow. There's plenty of understeer. It could certainly use a whole lot more power and, surprisingly enough, more torque as well, even though it is a truck. We'll definitely see about that. However, such is the sense of immersion in this thing that the first thing you do when you get on board is you actually reach over and you put your seatbelt on. Now, I'm not entirely sure what button assignment that's going to be for everybody, but depending on your rig, you're going to have a different idea in terms of that. But that's the first thing you do when you get into this thing. The second thing you do is you take your key, which is in the ignition, and you twist it to the ignition on position, and that's going to have your gauge cluster totally come alive and show you everything that's going on. Absolutely incredible level of detail. Next, you're going to make sure you're in neutral. So there you go. You can jiggle the stick around a few times, and the feel on this is absolutely true to life as well. Then you'll notice you go to start the engine and nothing happens. Why? Because the starter is interlocked with the clutch. You have to have the clutch completely depressed before you can kick the engine over, just like this. So there you go. The engine is started, and the only thing that I'm going to change from default is to turn off the traction control, because I found that the traction control tends to bog this thing down quite a bit. Such is the lack of horsepower and torque. However, once you are ready to go, you can turn the lights on. I absolutely love the sense of immersion here. And then you can release your parking brake, which is this interesting control here. It's very reminiscent of the 1950s in that you push a button in on the other side of this, you turn it, and then the parking brake is released. Absolutely great. And then the last thing you do, straight up manual gearbox, bring it over and select reverse, and then off you go. Absolutely wonderful sense of immersion so far. Just coming out here onto the road proper. Punch up first gear, let the clutch out, very progressive bite on this clutch, and then off you go. We're already set for second gear, and there it is. And you can also hear some of the very great sounds that Toyota USA have integrated into this mod. Absolutely unbelievable, true to life, world-class sound pack on this truck as well. Absolutely great. Also, you remember from showroom view that we had a new showroom? Well, that's also the track, and again, it looks remarkably like my own neighborhood in the real world. It's absolutely incredible. Kunos have done a great job with this as well. Clearly it's been laser scanned, but not only has it been laser scanned, but they must have done some very extensive 3D modeling of the tarmac, because all of the cracks in the road, the potholes, everything that's indicative of a municipality that doesn't really care about this particular neighborhood, it's all here. Absolutely great. 2,000 revs here in second, coming up to 25 miles an hour. We can punch up third gear, and there we go. Smooth as you like into third. Absolutely wonderful. And also, we have the ability now in Assetto Corsa to go beyond 6 p.m. So we're now coming up on 20 past 7, and you can see it is getting dark out, and it is absolutely great. Because I've done some running in this before we started to capture the footage, everything is warmed up, and we'll be able to give it some beans. However, as you can see, we're not alone out here on the track. We do have some traffic, which we are going to have to contend with. So we'll have to adjust to that as we may. However, giving it beans. It's pretty slow. I definitely have to say it is pretty slow. That's 50 miles an hour there, and that was full throttle through second, third, and fourth. Yeah, not much happening there in the way of horsepower. Also, in this new build of Assetto Corsa, we have speed limits to deal with. So the speed limit on this stretch of tarmac is 50 miles per hour. So of course we're going to be obeying that, because what tends to happen is the game will then take your Steam account and it will charge it again for the price of the game. So you definitely don't want to have that happening as you're going around, because you'll go broke pretty quickly. Also new, we have some pedestrian modeling. Someone walking around there. Very, very nice. I've got to say though, the force feedback in this thing, not only in the steering, but in the throttle, the brake, the clutch, and the shifter. I don't know what they've done, but it's almost like they have completely transformed my physical surroundings with this mod, because everything is true to life. This is a true 360-degree peripheral experience. It's just absolutely wonderful. You've even got indicators modeled in this. You've got, clearly I mentioned the shifter, everything feels so real. You've got all of your lights. You've got traffic signals to play with. It's absolutely incredible, 100% true to life in this mod. Unbelievable work. There's that engine again coming on song. Got 160 horsepower. And again, it weighs 3,700 pounds, so don't expect to go anywhere too quickly in this mod. But just the realism alone, you've got to give this thing a look. You absolutely have to give this thing a look. Unbelievable build quality all around. Up here, watch the downshifts. I mentioned the synchronizers are not that good, so double clutching, rev matching, heel toe under brakes, all of that is definitely going to be helping you out, particularly here coming into second gear. Just wait for the shifter to fall in by itself, because those synchronizers, again, Toyota cannot build a manual gearbox to save their lives. It certainly does not bode well for maybe the GT86. I've not driven one of those, but there are a couple good GT86 mods out there. I haven't gotten a chance to sample the gearboxes in those quite yet, but if this is any indicator, Toyota have to go back to school when it comes to how to build manual gearboxes. Even on the upshift here, complete just finger pressure on the shifter, and you just wait for it to fall in, because those synchronizers are not helping you. Even into third, similar sort of thing. Just wait for the revs to come down. Don't force it. But in any regard, you can certainly get a great sense of the level of detail in here. You even got all your climate control systems you can play with. Feeling a little hot in here, let some more outside air in without sending it through the heater coil first. Absolutely great. Loving this. Absolutely loving this. More traffic signals to play with. This, if I didn't know better, if I were from another time or something, I would definitely say that this was reality. That is the sense of immersion that you've got in this thing right now. It is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. The other side of the intersection still has the green, so we're not going anywhere yet. It's gone yellow. Drop it into first. Ooh, somebody running the red there. Naughty, naughty. That AI needs some work, Kunos. Modeled after the state of New Jersey, this is what we call a jug handle. Some people call these U-turns, but they're actually called jug handles. This is how you make a left turn across the highway. You can't just hang a left. You've got to go around the world first. And then, of course, you wait on the other side of the intersection for the green light. And this is why people from New Jersey, it definitely takes forever to go anywhere. And of course, the green light on the highway side will be a little bit longer. Should have a green arrow, and we do. And off we go. Got some traffic acting stupidly in front of us, so we can't really open it up right now. So we'll just cruise back into the pits here. Again, double clutching and rev matching on all those downshifts. Stop sign. I guess we'll observe the full stop. Why not? And back into the pits here. Again, I am absolutely astonished at the fidelity of the modeling here because it looks exactly like my neighborhood. It is absolutely incredible stuff. I can't believe the lengths that Kunos went to develop this track. Incredible job. Absolutely incredible job. You have an endorsement from a native. Unbelievable. And it's not just the locations and the sizes and relative distances. It's the fact that they know where the patches are in the road surface. That is something truly spectacular. Dropping into neutral here and coast the slight downhill run. Little dab of brake, no problem. And of course, being good citizens, we will signal back to our parking place. Uphill, punch up first again. Dump the clutch into neutral and stop. Park and brake apply. Turn the lights off. And we'll kill the engine. Absolutely incredible attention to detail. If you don't have this mod already, do check it out. It is 100% freeware from ToyotaUSA.com. Absolutely incredible job by those guys on this mod. I cannot recommend it enough. It's a very rare day in sim racing where we get something that is this good in terms of detail. Maybe it's not the best subject matter in the world. It's a pickup truck, all right? So it's not going to be fast. Certainly every other car on Assetto Corsa pretty much is going to rip this thing to shreds. But just the immersion you get. I mean, this shifter alone is, I mean, if somebody could invent a shifter peripheral that has this sort of feel to it, that would be priceless in my opinion. Just absolutely great. But do check it out. ToyotaUSA.com. Absolutely incredible. And if you believe anything that you just saw, you're an absolute fool. Until next time, Ferrari Man 601 saying thank you very, very much for watching, and we will see you soon.